Hey everybody, Justin Senior here. I've got a great video. This is actually a sneak peek inside of my members only e-commerce mentor bootcamp program. And one of the things that we do best inside the bootcamp is teach my students how to scale their winners. And we have literally over 15 different scaling strategies. I'm going to be sharing one with you in this video, never before released on YouTube or really anywhere outside of my bootcamp. Sneak peek inside one of the scaling strategies. This is scaling by price point. And this is the type of content and training that you could expect inside of my mentor program. And of course, you also get direct access to me as your mentor. The link is directly below this video. But take a look at this sneak peek. This is an entire scaling strategy that I'm going to teach you in this video that you typically only find in my mentor bootcamp program. Got a super powerful video for you. And this is another scaling strategy that you're going to be able to implement on top of the, numerous other incredible scaling strategies that are inside of the bootcamp program. This one is called scaling by price point. And as you could tell by the name, we're going to be talking about scaling or making more money by changing the price point, and I'm talking of a specific product. Okay, I'm going to define it and go into detail in it, but just in general, it's about changing the price of an item that's already selling. Okay, this is what we're going to be talking about in this video. And we'll talk about when to implement this strategy. That's very important. How does this fit into our other scaling strategies inside the bootcamp? How does it work, right? What are the nuts and bolts? How is this going to look? How are you going to be able to implement it? How does it play into price psychology? That's probably the biggest thing here, right? There's another great video inside the bootcamp called Price Psychology. Make sure you check that out. But this scaling strategy goes hand in hand with that psychology, that whole strategy there. And then I'll go over a little example case study, a real nice example of how we used scaling by price point to make a lot of money. So first of all, defined, right? Scaling by price point is the idea that we're trying to scale our store or scale a campaign, right? And scaling just basically means, try to make more money from it in this instance. Trying to make more money from a campaign by changing the price point. Okay, we're going to literally change the price that people pay, and by that I mean we're going to charge more, and we're going to see what the maximum amount we can charge without losing a conversion rate, right? We want to go and see what's the max people will pay for this product, right? We already know that people want the product. That's why we're scaling. And that leads me into this point about when to implement. Okay, this is not for product testing. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to launch a product and try it at $20 and $15 and see which one works best. That's not what we're doing here. You should already be making consistent sales. This is scaling, right? You want to scale something when it's working, right? You want to scale something that is selling. So to implement scaling by price point, you should already be making consistent sales of that product. Now, very specifically to our bootcamp strategies, right? There's a bunch of scaling strategies in here that are working super well. This is going to come potentially, right? And I say the word potentially because you don't have to do this scaling strategy at this point, but it could potentially happen after you do the two earliest and most important scales here, vertical and horizontal scaling. Okay, if you're unfamiliar with those, make sure you go back and watch the videos here in the bootcamp about horizontal and vertical scaling. But right when you're doing or finishing up that section, you can implement scale by price point. Now, you could definitely also do this late in the scale, but kind of the huge upside picture is that as we're really scaling out horizontally, we're also going to figure out and dial in what that maximum price is, right? We want to find that early on so we can make, as much money as we can from this product throughout the scale, because eventually, right, like any product or any campaign, the product will slow down and the scale will die. So you want to be able to milk out as much money as you can as early on. So you'd implement this, relatively early, but again, not until you've already known for sure that you can scale the product and that it's selling consistently. So how does this work? It's very easy, right? Instead of scaling with more customers or more traffic, we're going to scale with a higher price point on a winning product. Okay, so let's say, we have a product in our store, right? And admittedly, this works better with dropship products than it does for print on demand, because print on demand products are typically set in stone in terms of their pricing, right? This is going to work for higher ticket print on demand items like canvas prints, maybe shoes, but typically dropship products where there's a very wide variety of products will make the most sense here, right? Your typical AliExpress, your Etsy dropship products, and some of your higher end print on demand. So what you do is, you take a winning product and you literally increase the price. And we do that in conjunction with the price psychology price points. And again, there's a great video on price psychology in the bootcamp, but basically price psychology price points are ones that the customer has come to expect, right? And we're talking about things like $17.99, $19.99, $24.99, $27.99. These are traditional price points. You go into Walmart or Target, you would not be hard pressed to find pricing like that. So what we do here is we take our winning product and we increase it simply to the next psychological level. Okay, you're at $17.99, you're going to go to $19.99. You're at $24.99, you're going to go to $27.99, right? It's not about the price of the original product. It's not about your margin. It's literally, we're just going to the next psychological level, and any dollars in between there would be your increase in margin. So you see in that first example, you're bumping up $2 in margin. In the second example, you're bumping it up $3 in margin. You're just making $2 or $3 more profit per sale, right? And that's a great way to scale, right? Because in the end result, you're making more money, and that's the whole goal of scaling. So let's talk a little bit more about price psychology. Again, watch the video on price psychology to learn this entire thing. But price psychology in the lens of scaling by price point, we're going to be bumping our product to the next psychological price point on that psychological pricing chart, or whatever you want to call it, these commonly accepted prices. And again, some examples, you're seeing them on the screen right now: $17.99, $19.99, $22.99, $24.99, $27.99, $29.99, $34.99, etc. Right? You've seen these prices. They're very normal. They're not surprising or weird or anything like that, right? You've just come to expect these prices in a store. Now, the big key here, as you see on the second bullet point, nothing else is changing. Same ad, same targeting, same everything, right? Nothing's changing here. The only change that you're making is the price point. So in fact, your Facebook ads in this scaling strategy, or any ad type, won't change. Literally just the price in your Shopify store for that product, that's the only thing you're changing here. And we're just simply using commonly accepted price points to make the customer feel at ease, aka feel like there's a great deal of trust to be had in this store. Okay, so I've got an awesome little case study, just a real quick case study I'm going to go through here. And this is a student store. And we were running, or I was, coaching on specifically on scaling. The student had a product that was doing pretty well. She was selling it, about to approximately $400 days before the Christmas holiday. It was a drop shipped item. So, basically because of, holiday guarantee ship times, basically never got a chance to really fully scale this product, and wound up pausing the product for the last 2 weeks of December, kind of just getting started after the Christmas holiday again, or restarting the product. So this was a great scenario for scale by price point because the product had already made consistent sales, right? She was doing a little bit of vertical and horizontal scaling by the time I came in and started implementing, a variety of scaling strategies. But obviously, this scaling by price point was an interesting one. And I want you to pay attention to the two red arrows on the screen. The arrows here, they literally represent the exact points where we did scale by price point. Right? These are the dates, or the days where we change the prices. And while it's not very obvious on the chart here, right, there was some massive differences in average order value. Right? Because as you see here, we're implementing lots of different scaling strategies. We got close to $10,000 days, so far, but we weren't fully scaled out horizontally, vertically, or any of the other 10 plus scaling strategies in there. So, if you're expecting to see the biggest bars on those arrow days, I'll tell you why that didn't happen. We just didn't have as much traffic. But when I talk about the average order values, you'll see what's going on here. And first of all, this is like I said, the dropship product in her store. It comes from Etsy. Product cost is a little bit under $20, and the original starting price point from December and into January was $37.99. Okay, $37.99, and our average order value was about $41 and change. It's free shipping on this product. Okay, average order value, 41 and change, low 41s, I forgot exactly what it was. We'll just call it $41. And you could see that going through basically the 2nd of January, right? And then on the 3rd, we changed the price point from $41.99. From $37.99 to $44.99. We literally bumped it up $7, right? Now, this was an example where we skipped a psychological price point in here, $39.99. And the reason is we want to be pretty aggressive here. And I personally thought the product was underpriced to start. So we skipped a couple price points. We went all the way to $44.99. The price point that we skipped was $39.99. Okay, I would have liked to see her start this product at $39.99 originally, but she wasn't running this program, so she didn't know the the different price psychologies. Long story short, she went from $37.99 to $44.99. Conversion rate barely dipped. As you see, we actually made more money, but again, that's not really truly representative. And I'm talking about, let's see my mouse over here. We got the second, we made a little bit under 2,000. Over here, we made close to or a little bit over 4,000. We raised the price of the product $7 here, right? We also sent a lot more traffic because we were scaling, right? But the big thing is that the conversion rate barely dropped, but our average order value went from 41 and change to 48. Right? We significantly increased our profit right there. And we continue to scale out. You see over here, we've had, these were up until a couple days ago, the biggest days of the month for sales here as we were running at $44.99. And we continued, right? This was the weekend, so we had some pretty nice sales, right? It dropped off a little bit during the week. And then we decided, okay, let's head into the weekend again, and let's change the price again. We went from $37.99 to $44.99, now to $47.99. And remember, these are all free shipping products. Okay, it's coming from Etsy. The price, $19.50, includes shipping. That's our cost, right? So we now went up another $3. And what did we do the next day, right? We made, we continued to make money. Again, this is not representative of everything else, right? Lots of different scaling strategies going on. But this was the day that we increased the price. Our average order value went up again to $51, right? It went about 50 and change, right? So another close to $3 bump in our average order value just by making that price change. So we're coming over here. This chart would not look as big as this is here. And again, this is all inclusive of other scaling strategies as well, right? Not just scale by price point, but scale by price point made a significant difference here. We had close to 2,000 orders. Now our average order value is $10 higher than it was when we started scaling this product. And the only thing that we changed was our scaling by price point, right? We didn't change our supplier or cost or, anything like that. Same supplier, same item, same everything. We just charged more. So you see how powerful that is in conjunction with scaling vertically, scaling horizontally, scaling internationally, scaling by objective, scaling by margin, all of those strategies you see in this screenshot here. But big breakthroughs on these days because we increased the price significantly and did not lose a significant amount of conversion rate. Right? Maybe a couple of tenths of a percentage, but that is obviously made up for significantly when you're charging more for the product. So you basically have a negligible change on conversion rate, but a significant change on margin. That equals big bucks, right? So this is a very interesting case study here showing the implementation of scale by price point and really showing why you'd want to kind of jump into this pretty quickly. And scale by price point, again, it's independent of your ads. You're not changing anything on your ads, and in fact, it's done in conjunction with your other scaling strategies. So you're likely going to be spending more on ads. You're likely going to be sending more traffic, right? You're sending it to a product that is already in demand and has made sales. You're just hoping that your price point is still reasonable. And if it is, you're going to see some real nice results. Okay, so throw this into your scaling strategies for sure. There's a real nice one. It's called Scale by Price Point. Watch this video again if you have to, and I hope this makes you a lot of money. So again, that's the type of content that you could expect in the bootcamp. You see the link directly below this video. You get all of my video training and direct access to me as your Shopify mentor.